Good morning, go getters. How are you today? It is Monday. I am so excited to be here today. I am going to talk to you today about being basically authentic and relatable in social media over these next few weeks. Hopefully, you've already been social media relatable and you've been connecting with people in a very authentic way, especially your customers. I know this is a very scary time for so many people, especially if you own a business. I've pretty much gotten a lot of messages from my friends saying, how's your business doing? Where are you going? Um, Jamie Troll, who was on last week in her group, definitely you want to go read. If you have a small business, you definitely want to go and listen to that episode that we did together. Here, you can go to you can find this wherever you're at. If you're on LinkedIn, you can find it on my profile. If you're on YouTube, you can find it on my channel. And if you're in Facebook, you can find it on this Kami's Smart Social Secrets page and a bunch of other places I've shared it. But the bottom line is that you need to start getting educated about what's next. So part of that is also keeping your relationships with the people that you serve. So I would love to know if you're here. Definitely put a comment in the comments so I can see if you're here so we can say hi. But I just want to start talking to you about that authenticity. And I've been watching a lot of different brands and what they've been doing during this time. And really authentic and relatable brands will always do better than just distant brands in a crisis. So I know a lot of people just turn everything off in a crisis. They stop communicating through social media. They say, let's just bring it back because our current messaging doesn't make sense. And that's great for say the first week or so. But this looks like it's going to be extended. So you need to come up with a way to talk with your audience that's really, really authentic during this time. And hopefully some of you already are. And if you have any recommendations or ideas, definitely put them in the comments as well. We'd love to see them. Right now, everybody's learning together. I've been through a couple of crises, 9/11 being one of them, where I was a communicator. I was in Arlington at the time of 9/11, and I was working at Manufactured Housing Institute, and I just finished doing a bunch of crisis communications seminars across the country because we had a lot of those kinds of things too, where things would happen and we'd have to respond quickly. And I was trying to train other people how not to, stiff arm the media and work with the media directly. And so I sat at home in Arlington, just a few miles away from the Pentagon, thinking that I had all of this expertise, I guess, and experience to give. And I just felt like it was being wasted in my house. So I went out of my house and I went to the hospital nearby, and they sent me to the Red Cross chapter. And I spent the rest of that day working with the Red Cross chapter and the first responders to do something called canteening, which is where they put together a food service and comfort and mental health for first responders and also for families that were waiting for news about their loved ones. And so that was my first real brush with a disaster, like kind of what we're going through now, except for that was, of course, man-made, but similar feeling, like that feeling of people coming together and that feeling of kind of helplessness too. And we were also cordoned off in that area. So you couldn't leave the area. You couldn't come into that area. Once you were there, you were kind of there for the long haul. But it didn't go on for 4 weeks, or 6 weeks or 8 weeks. So we have something unprecedented in our hands. Also, you may have a lot of crisis communication experience, but even the people who are seasoned professionals, pros, and that's all they do is crisis communication, are saying this is unlike anything that they've ever had to deal with or ever will. So don't feel bad if you feel a little bit out of sorts on this, because, it's going to happen. I see Rahul Karim. Hopefully I said that right. Rahul. Anyway, it's really nice to see you here. Thanks for saying hi. So yeah, I'm just going to say it's one of those moments that I think that we all need to kind of figure out, where are we going to go next? So don't feel bad if you don't really know right off the bat. I think that that's just normal. So the first thing that you really want to do whenever you're in a situation like this is think about your audience and from their point of view. So I think the first thing that sometimes we want to think about is, how are we going to survive this as a business or a company? And believe me, I've stayed up at night too, thinking about the ways that I can save my business. It's doing pretty well because half of it is healthcare, half of it is travel and tourism. So I would say, I'm lucky I've got a client or 2 still left, right? But there's a whole side of my business that completely collapsed. So I think that's true of most anyone. I mean, if you're closed or if you have any kind of thing going on. But what I want you to do is to start thinking first about the people that you serve. So, for example, I love my trainer. She's amazing. She works for the gym. Well, of course, the gyms are all closed. She can't actually serve us or have us pay her for services because she works through the gym, and that's part of her contract is she can't. But instead, she put together a WhatsApp group, and we've been doing weekly and morning weekly meetups and morning rituals, like where we come and we get together and do push-ups and sit-ups and all that kind of stuff. So she's keeping a relationship with the people that she serves during this time, so that when we come out of this, they're going to come back to her and they're going to be very loyal to her, which we are, very loyal to her because of that situation. Now, of course, in the meanwhile, she has an income gap, and hopefully there's going to be some social services and things that we can put in place. Plus, just being human. I mean, we as people can help other people that are laid off right now. If you have a job, um, send some food to someone, have like Grubhub send them something to their door. Or if you have extra toilet paper, if you're one of those people that manage to get extra toilet paper somehow, give it away. Give some of it away to people that need it. So I just am saying right now is the time for us to be human with each other, and especially with our customers and clients. So hopefully you're going to be doing that, and I'm sure you are. I mean, I just love the spirit of most people during this time. I know there's a lot of stress. I've been like reading some of the stuff. I went on my Nextdoor app, and there was a really kind of scary thread from people that were just so stressed out because they couldn't get toilet paper and other necessities, especially people that are working and have kids that are at home, and they are having to drag their kids with them to the grocery store. Can you imagine taking your kids to your grocery store right now? One couple was talking about her husband is working like out. He's an essential worker for the government. And then she has to stay home with her 4 kids while she has to do the shopping. She has to take those kids with her. And right now, believe me, if you take kids with you to the store, you kind of get the stink eye. So I don't know, 100% how that all goes, but I feel like that's something that we have to think about is what are people like undergoing right now to get through all of this? And hi, Ken Fountain, I see you. And Amy, hi. How are you doing, Amy? And Amy has a really great group here in Houston that has been meeting for a long time. So yeah, definitely connect with Amy if you see her in the she's in the LinkedIn feed. So anyway, the bottom line is just finding out like what is it that your community needs and how can you help serve them during this time. And it doesn't have to be for free, by the way, either. So I do think that's the other piece that a lot of people feel like that it's bad for you to offer a service during this time. And I would say no. I mean, if I could reliably source for you toilet paper, and you could sign up for a biweekly shipment of toilet paper, would you take me up on that? Especially if it was affordable and really great. Yes, don't gouge people during this time for their fears and needs, but definitely if you can do something like that, do it. I mean, there's a need right now for somebody to fix that problem. And I don't know what it is. I actually thought that a subscription model would work really well. Actually, I was thinking about that last night. Like, wow, if I had like the connections to put that together, that would be cool to have a subscription model for toilet paper so that for the next 3 to 4 months, you would just get your toilet paper every 2 weeks. And that means no hoarding, no bum rushing the store, no waiting in lines. What do you guys think? Anyway, I don't know. I don't have the wherewithal to put it together necessarily, but somebody out there might be able to. And if you are one of those persons, talk to me. I have some ideas. Anyway, that's really the idea is that you are going to have to eat too during this time. So if you have something that really is helpful for your people, put it out there. I would make it relevant. If you have something that isn't relevant to this moment in time, how can it be relevant? What kind of savings can you offer? What kind of special opportunities or deals can you give to make it better for people? So, really connecting with your audience is the only way to find out where they're at. So I've been out, watching what you guys are posting and reaching out to people too. I've been behind the scenes just reaching out to different people. A lot of my single friends, I've reached out to them and said, hey, how are you doing? Making sure that they're kind of getting everything they need and not, totally going crazy in isolation. And for my married friends, and my friends with kids, we are suffering in tandem. I have 3 children, so they're all here. doing in homeschool. One of the things I said I'd never do, by the way, never say you'll never do something. I said I would never move to Houston. I live in Houston. I said I would never have children actually when I was in my 20s. I have 3 children. I said that I would never homeschool my children. Now we're homeschooling. So I would say, you never know what you're going to have on your plate. So anyway, so you want to really connect with your audience. And honestly, that's one way is watching what they're saying, watching what they're posting. But if you do have clients already or in customers, definitely be reaching out to them and finding out how they are and just figuring out how you can help them during this time, whether it's with money or whether they have to pay you or not. That's up in the air. Oh, Asmaray. How do you say that? Asmaray? That's a beautiful sounding name. Anyway, so hi. So yeah, just find out what they need. So in here, it would be great to hear from you. Like, what is it you're struggling with right now? I'd love to hear it in the comments, or just DM me if you don't want to say it in public. Send me a little private message wherever you're watching this from. Send me a private message and tell me, like, this is what I'm struggling with in my business, or this is what I'm struggling with at home. There's a lot of things that are going on right now, guys. I mean, there's days that I'm really happy and up, and then there's times I'm like really stressed out, like, how am I going to like get through this? So it is totally normal to feel that way back and forth during this time. So you also want to build a tribe of loyal followers during this time and co-create with them, just like what we're doing here. You want to find um, the places where you guys can connect with each other and start to do that co-creation. So people want to find something bigger than themselves to be a part of during times like these. They want to find something that they feel like is bigger than themselves, because right now we're kind of isolated. And so that makes us feel like we want to do things that are helpful once we get our basic needs met. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't have your basic needs met, it's really, really hard to help anybody else. So always your oxygen mask first. So definitely take whatever you need. Also, don't kill yourself helping others, in the sense that take the time to rest. The other day, I just laid down and went to sleep for 20 minutes. And I was super busy, but I was like, if I don't take care of me, I'm not going to be able to take care of all of you and my kids and everybody else. So I wanted to make sure that I had the ability to do that. So you want to connect with your audience. You want to help build a tribe by helping co-create with them. You want to take care of yourself during this time. And you know what? A small but powerful online community can drive so much action. And so here's one of the fallacies of social media, that you have to have this huge following and lots of people that are a part of your tribe, hundreds of thousands of followers. And this is what I call my social secret number 2. You don't have to have thousands of followers to be successful. You just have to have a few people that stick together with you and with what you're doing. So you do not have to have a huge tribe, guys. You really don't. You can build one over time, but right now, just a small tribe together, doing stuff together, can make such a huge impact in what's going on around us right now. People are afraid. People are lonely. People need connection. You can provide that connection for people. And so that's kind of my message today, is that, we can connect with each other. So I'm going to see what you guys are saying about that. Hey, Sandra, good morning. How are you? You awake? Good. I just want to connect with you today and find out how you're doing. Let me know that you're here so that I can say hi to you. And if you watch this in replay, definitely let me know that you did that too, because I want to definitely reach out to everybody who is a part of my tribe. And if you take the time to listen to this, I really, really appreciate it. Tomorrow, I'm going to go ahead and move forward with the next part of this series. So on Friday, let me just go back and tell you, I did how to find clarity for your business in the social media chaos, if you will. And that's smart social secret number 1 was you aren't going to make everyone happy. So that was part of it. Like, you're not going to be able to make everyone happy. And this is how to connect authentically in a crisis, which is really just about being human, talking to people. Oh, I was going to give you an example. Let me do that really quick before we quit. But connecting authentically in a crisis was today. And then tomorrow, we're going to talk about how to create strategic content that solves problems during this time. So if you're like, what do I actually say? That's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. How you figure out exactly what you're going to say during times like this. So we're going to do that tomorrow morning first thing. So I'm really excited about that. And then I think Wednesday we're having a friend of mine, Amber Naslin from LinkedIn, is going to be here. She's their community manager, so she's going to talk about what's kind of the stuff around LinkedIn and what you can do with LinkedIn during this time. And then we will come back to this on Friday or Thursday rather, and talk about calibrating your marketing to thrive in any calibrating your marketing to thrive in any environment. And that's really about data. It's about measurement. It's about understanding what's going on. So we're going to keep moving through this series. It's a 4-part series. I want to give you one more example as I want to leave you here, because it really was amazing to me. I use a email program called ConvertKit, and I'm just opening up this email that he sent. He sent us Nathan Barry, who started ConvertKit. He's always been known for being very connected and listening to his community, and he's known for that. But he's grown a lot over the last couple of years. ConvertKit has become a really well-known like autoresponder for email. And he sent us a really great email. And I know there's a lot of emails that have been sent to your inbox, but his was very good. He said, in the last 2 weeks, my inbox is filled with a single phrase: in these uncertain times. Most of those emails are from venture capitalists and private equity firms following up to provide stability, as we know we're falling quickly into a recession. The emails were quickly archived, but they have a point. These are uncertain times and it's hard to know how to react. While I can't tell you how to react, I did want to share the message I sent to the ConvertKit team. So he sent us the letter that he wrote here in the comments. If I'm still there. Oh, I'm back. Anyway, so I don't know if you lost me there for a minute, but Nathan has given us a really great email that I want you to read, that's really authentic and will help you to kind of think about how you can respond to people. And Sandra said she's feeling like she's still connecting with others as one of the challenges of the stay home owner. Yeah, I totally agree, Sandra. It's really hard, especially if you're busy at all with work. It's hard to take the time to just sit down and like reach out to people. But I do think it's really important to come up with a way. And one of the things that I'm going to do this week is I'm going to make a list of 20 people that I really need to reach out to. And I've kind of already worked down some of that list, but I'm going to start reaching out to them very methodically. And my son was talking about that with his friends too. And so we might be writing some mail to people, like actually sending mail. We can do these like video things, but how cool it would be for you to get something in the mail from someone. I think that would be really cool right now. So we're going to do a few of those, especially for relatives for him. So I think that's a great thought. Like, how can you be different and stand out during this time and do something that just makes somebody's day? I think right now that's really where we're at. We need to just make somebody's day, and being authentic is really important. And I do love what Nathan did with his team. So I put that in the comments so you guys can look at what Nathan said. And again, I think I said this when I was down, but it does have like a couple of like language things in it. So just understand that there's a few language things. But what he did was he talked about the fear, uncertainty, and preparation that he's made over the years. So he has done some saving and they've worked really hard, and he knew ahead of time, like as we all have, that there's probably a recession coming. And so he started putting a lot of money in the bank, saving up for the rainy day. The rainy day came, and he was able to come in here and powerfully motivate his staff and let them know, hey, we're going to be okay. And here is why. And he's like, the day has arrived. He's kept his promise. He's got a large cash balance, an established free plan. They now have a free plan, by the way, for up to 500. So if you love, I love ConvertKit, guys, and it's free for 500 people. So if you have a small tribe, it is the perfect way to start out right now with all the bells and whistles. Like, it does all the cool stuff that helps you to manage your tribe, put them into different categories. I would highly recommend using ConvertKit. I'll put a link to it in here. I actually think I have a referral link somewhere. So anyway, they have a large cash balance. They have an established free plan, and he actually took a screenshot of his bank account for ConvertKit for both the savings and the checking account with their current cash balance. Um, I just think that that kind of transparency and openness shows people like what you're made of as a company. You know, they're like, we will be okay. And I think that's really, really powerful, especially for a company like his, where they're worried every 5 seconds. And then guess what happens when your employees are worried about losing their jobs all the time? Their productivity goes way down because they're only thinking about that. They're only thinking about what do we do next? How do we manage it? And a lot of people are losing their jobs and will lose their jobs. So if you do have a situation where you're going to have to lay people off, like it's better to tell them as quickly as possible and work with them on how they're going to overcome that. Even if you can help to a certain degree, send them with like a week severance. I don't know. I mean, there's just a lot of things you have to think about as a manager, and if you have a cash balance or don't, that's really important. But I think, you really have to think about those things. Like, how exactly can you change these things and be totally transparent, either with your team or with your clients or your customers right now? How can you help your people? So, anyway, yeah, the ConvertKit program is great, Marek. I agree. So I will grab the link for that because I do have a link for a ConvertKit. I'll throw it in here. And anyway, so I'm kind of out of time, but tomorrow morning I'll be back with a little bit more on, again, I said, we're going to be talking about the next step, which is really, what do you say? Like, what kind of content do people need, or what kind of, not just content, but also what kind of products do they need right now, and how can you put that out there? So there's been a lot of great examples of that, and I'll share those with you tomorrow. But anyway, take care. Really take care of yourself and your families. I mean that sincerely. Feel free to like DM me anytime you want. Tell me what you're going through. I may have resources. If I don't, I'll commiserate with you. But definitely send me messages. I do want to hear from you, and I'm hoping that you have a great day. All right, take care, guys. Bye.